Assuming it is not too busy, you might even meet Sirona, the owner. She is a charming hostess and a powerful witch. Good one to know.
Oh, I didn't save it.
I think that now might be a good time to head back to the castle.
Revelio.
Oh. Oh. It's really narrow. Narrow.
Revelio. Accio.
I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
Revelio. Lumos. Revelio.
Sometimes it seems all roads lead to Hogsmeade.
I want to explore.
Reparo. Accio. Levioso. Revelio.
I am certainly glad Sirona was there.
And that she isn't intimidated by thugs like Rookwood and Harlow.
I want to understand what's going on, and I hope you will tell me. But for the moment, we should return to the castle. Professor Weasley will certainly hear about the troll attack soon if she hasn't already. I don't want her to worry.
You must return to common room for the night. Access the map. The switch Hogwarts map. Common room. Where the Ravenclaw common room? Where? I can't find. Oh. Oh. What? Wait. Huh? Oh. Mm. Come and see me. I've discovered something in the locket we found at Gringotts.
Revelio.
I couldn't nothing in this room. I want to go.
Revelio.
아, 몰라. 음. Helena. Is she Helena Ravenclaw?
Revelio.
Ah, it's good, really good.
Lumos. Revelio.
How nice to see you, my young friend.
Nice to see you. Oh, the bathroom.
Revelio.
What are you up to now?
Revelio.
Oh, it's too... maybe...
Lumos.
Where you go?
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
Ah,
Lumos.
where you belongs to? Okay, goodbye.
Levioso. Revelio. Lumos.
Oh. Okay. Found.
Levioso. Lumos. Revelio. Accio.
It's good.
Revelio.
The last time You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was.
Revelio.
Blue powder.
Oh. Oh. Hmm? Oh.
Revelio.
Basket the wheel back. Hello.
Professor,
I'm
glad to see you.
And I you. Thank Merlin you're in one piece. I heard about the attack. Trolls in Hogsmeade?
Sir, the trolls were wearing armor. It had that dark glow like the dragon collar.
Goblin silver! Ranrock used it to control the dragon. But how? And why send trolls too?
They were there because of me. I overheard Ranrock talking with Victor Rookwood.
Ranrock was in Hogsmeade with Rookwood.
The trolls were Ranrock's distraction so that Rookwood could get to me, and he would have had Serona and the patrons at the Three Broomsticks not intervened.
This is grave news indeed. If Ranrock's goblins and dark wizards are after you, they want what we found in that vault.
Speaking of the vault, do you think that Ranrock is working with any of the goblins at Gringotts?
I do not. Gringotts goblins aren't typically the friendliest of beings, but they have a great deal of integrity. No, I dare say after what happened to that poor banker, the goblins at Gringotts are no followers of Ranrock.
They're after the locket. You said you discovered something in it.
Yes, yes. I discovered an inscription. When I read it aloud, this map appeared. Clever enchantment. It's a map of Hogwarts, to be sure, but I do not know where it leads.
It leads to the library. The restricted section, to be precise, and a bit beyond. I see traces of magic there on the map.
I suspected you would see something.
Shall we go?
I appreciate your enthusiasm, and I'm eager to discover what we may find there as well. But if our experience at Gringotts, let alone what happened to Miriam, taught me anything, it's that the path we're on is terribly dangerous. I'd like you to work with Professor Hecat a bit before we continue.
But sir, how dangerous could the library be? Perhaps we're only after a book.
Perhaps we are only after a book, but we should be prepared for anything. Once you've honed your defensive magic further, come and see me. I'll let Professor Hecat know to expect you.
Revelio.
Oh. Mm. I came long press.
Revelio.
Off on another adventure, are we?
I'm here about the new spell you wanted to teach me, Professor.
Good. Professor Fig indicated a certain urgency to you completing your defensive magic assignments. As such, you are to learn Incendio, the fire-making spell, handy for lighting torches, burning away spider webs, and, when necessary, defending against those who would wish to do us harm.
Sounds versatile.
Versatile.
Quite. But before we get started, I'd like you to complete a few tasks. You may be surprised by some of them. Astonishing how much students don't think their professors know. When you're finished, come and see me. Then we shall begin working on Incendio. You know where to find me once you've finished.
Seems crossed wands isn't as secret as it's believed to be.
Revelio. Revelio.
Here
Ah,
I've come
pigs.
from the toilet bowl where she said I could swim, did you praxia mole? As long as we're only one time per week, I can plunge the boys' lavatory. Not for you make me late. He tried to stop me, did rancorous carp. Sought to trap me, confine me inside of a jar. But he failed, as did his containment charm.
Accio.
So I took my revenge to wreak havoc and harm. It was granted my privileges be handsome indeed, or I'd fire up the cannon, and so she agreed.
Revelio.
Field guide. Map of Argyllshire. Huh? This map depicts Argyllshire, a region in Scotland which contained the Hebrides, native home of Hebridean black dragon.
Glad you could make it. Lucan's just over there.
Levioso.
Hello.
Can I help you?
Sebastian told me to see you about a club.
If Sebastian vouches for you, that's all I need to know. I coordinate duels for crossed ones. A dueling club of sorts. It's invitation only, so you must have really impressed Sebastian.
I seem to have a knack for dueling.
Then you've come to the right place.
How does cross wands work exactly?
You show up, I match you with other duelists, and whoever is still standing in the end wins. It's our way of determining the school's greatest duelist once and for all. And to liven things up, the winner is awarded a prize. Interested?
Of course. Dueling's an entertaining pastime.
I agree. Besides, in crossed ones, you can duel with a partner if you like. Your first time I'll pair you with Sebastian. Next time, you'll need to bring a partner along, or duel alone. So, care to step into the ring?
Care to step in the ring? I'm ready.
Get me in the ring.
Get me in the ring.
Spectacular! Let the fireworks begin!
We'll make you regret signing up.
Caps lock.
Ringo!
Also, make sure I win now.
Ah.
There goes my way. Levioso.
Expulso!
Accio.
Act like a winner!
Stupid one. That's all you've got? Accio.
You're better than that!
Reparo.
No.
Ringo!
Levioso. Protego.
Find the one!
Glad I didn't bet on that round.
Nice work. Sebastian wasn't wrong about you. There's strong competition ahead, but keep this up and you could be the next school champion.
Brilliant. Count me in.
I shall. In fact, the second duel is ready when you are. And as a fully initiated member, you now have access to the official Crossed Wands training dummy. Very good way to master spell combinations. Come and see me, and I'll set it up. Again, congratulations on your first Crossed Wands victory. Well fought. Hope to see you back here again.
Oh. May I use training dummy?
Hello, Lucan. May I use the training dummy?
Of course. I'll fetch it and give you a list of combinations to practice. Ready to have a try now?
That would be wonderful.
Be sure to cast all your spells before the dummy lands. If you need to stop practicing before you finish all of them, let me know.
Accio.
Excellent form.
Levioso.
Good one.
Levioso. Accio.
Nicely done. I'd say that's enough practice. You looked good out there.
Thank you, Lucan.
I say better to discover one's weaknesses during practice than during a duel. You'll be a fearsome challenger now.
Hello, Lucan. Is the next round of Crossed Wands all set?
Why, yes it is. I've got a great match lined up. Ready for another round?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Brilliant. Are you dueling with a partner?
Yes, Natty.
Then let's get to it.
Ready to get thrashed?
Let's destroy
Apologies in
Slytherin
advance.
and Gryffindor. I hate them. Breakthrough Virus Shield with 4 spells. Summoning Charm Accio. Target lock. Let you track enemies with. Okay.
Levioso. Protego. Accio.
There you go.
Luma. Levioso.
You're better than that.
Come on! Accio! Levioso! Potato! Stupid!
Act like a winner.
Levioso! Perhaps one day I'll sign up for a round.
Bravo!
I gave it my all.
You did indeed. The other duelists have already taken notice of you, but after that last round, they'll really have it in for you. You'd better keep practicing if you want a chance at winning, or at least surviving the next round. I'll let you know when we're ready. Hope to see you then. The next round is for all the gobstones, so to speak.
Assignment's all finished.
How nice to see you, my...
You have must learn fire making charm to continue. So do you go Professor Hickett? Why is this map so hard to charm cross no. Why? I want to come here this point.
I trust Mr. Brattleby was...
I finished all of the tasks you gave me, Professor Hackett.
Glad to hear it. Then you should be ready to learn Incendio.
Should be, Professor.
Yes. I'm sorry to say, I visited enough careless colleagues at St. Mungo's to assure you that fire is a fickle servant. Your spellcasting has impressed me thus far, but please maintain focus. I would rather we not end today's lesson with your robes aflame. Let us begin. And remember, focus on the proper wand movement. Concentrate, and keep your wand steady.
Incendio. Incendio.
Good work.
Incendio!
Oh.
You're getting it. Keep at it. And do try not to incinerate yourself.
Accio!
I've always said that travel broadens...
Setting.
Hello there. Perhaps you can help me.
Hello? Were you calling me?
I was, yes. Thought you might be interested in joining me for a bit of an adventure. Following a treasure map, to be precise. Slight respite from battling the odd troll, I should think. Asked Poppy if she'd be interested as well, but couldn't drag her away from her puff skein. I found 2 maps lying about, both leading to locations around Hogwarts. Care to have a look at one?
Following a Hogwarts treasure map. Count me in.
Wonderful. Hogwarts fascinates me. You can keep whatever treasure lies at the end of your map. I'll be satisfied just knowing where it leads.
Where do you suggest I search first? Where do you suggest... Very well.
Everyone falls off their broom at least once. You should have to get back on.
What are you up to now?
Ah, no. I lost my way.
Heard you're defending
Lumos.
Hogsmeade against trolls. You know, there is such a thing as trying too hard.
Ah, there you are.
Hello, sir. You'll be pleased to know that I worked on my defensive magic with Professor Heckard.
So I hear. She tells me you've taken rather well to your new wand. You must continue to work with her and your other professors to improve your skills. That said, I don't wish to postpone our visit to the library any longer. So, shall we proceed?
Fig! I have work for you. Come.
Headmaster, I'm with a student and my schedule
Your schedule will wait indefinitely, as will your student. I would think that after all the trouble you caused me with Osric, you'd be eager to make amends. My office. 5 minutes.
Shut up. I hate you.
That man is exasperating. Unfortunately, our trip to the restricted section will have to wait a bit longer.
But, Professor...
We have no choice. It would be unwise to provoke our illustrious headmaster further. I shall find you when I've completed whatever toils I must endure.
Revelio! Sebastian mentioned sneaking into the restricted section. Perhaps he'll have an idea.
This map system is really annoying me. Where do I go?
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones. A rhinoceros skeleton. I'm on the right track. Revelio. Levioso. Accio.
Oh.
Lumos. Reparo.
Sebastian, there you are. I was hoping to see you. I was in the Three Broomsticks after the troll attack and saw what happened with Rookwood and Harlow. Not many students have Victor Rookwood's attention. What was that all about?
Seems he's working with Ranrock, and Ranrock is after something I found at Gringotts.
Ranrock? And when were you at Gringotts?
Professor Fig and I ended up there after the dragon attack. It's quite the tale. Fig had this port key.
A port key? To Gringotts? I'm not sure I follow.
I barely follow myself, and I was there. Anyway, we ended up in an ancient vault where we found a map. That map leads to the restricted section.
You can't be serious.
Deadly serious. Professor Fig has insisted that I not tell a soul about any of this. I've probably said too much.
Understood. Your secret's safe with me. Whatever it is.
Thank you, Sebastian. You mentioned being clever enough not to get caught in the restricted section.
And I am.
He should belong to
Meet me outside the library tonight.
Haherba,
And tell no
I
one.
think.
How concerned should I be about the librarian?
Madam Scribner doesn't take kindly to clandestine activities taking place amongst her precious books. So do all that you can to avoid her. She and I have had our entanglements, but I can hold my own against her. You may not be so lucky.
Thank you, Sebastian. I'll meet you later.
A stone handle with a gateway to it, carved from cool black marble. One's handle. Oh.
Revelio.
See there? That's the door we need to reach. And those annoying prefects would love nothing more than to rat on us to Scribner, so don't let them see us. Understood?
I can be sneaky. Let's go.
Hold on now. There's a spell you should know. The Disillusionment Charm. Good for getting places you're not supposed to be. Cast it and you'll appear as little more than a trick of the light, just as long as you keep your distance and stay quiet.
You mean I'll actually be able to turn invisible?
Something like that. It's not as foolproof as a cloak, but those are expensive. And spells are free. Give it a try. Silent as a grave.
If I can see you, the prefects might be able to as well.
Blast. The librarian's still here. Quick, behind the bookcase.
Damn. You told me the librarian would be gone by now.
I said usually, but it'll still be alright. Do you see her desk behind me? The key is in the drawer of that desk. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'll create a distraction to draw her away. You focus on getting the key. I'll meet you outside the restricted section.
You distract, I get the key. Understood.
I said I'd get you in, and I always keep my word. Trust me.
Is someone there? Is that you, Peeves?
That wasn't so difficult after all. How to find that book.
Oh, that one's charmed to look more useful than it is. It's fooled me twice. Never judge a tome by its cover, I say.
Too right.
Ghost, don't let her see you.
Leviosa.
Should be in the clip. There's no need for us to be skulking about.
So what is it you've been looking for?
I'm looking for a cure to help my twin sister, Anne, so that she can return to Hogwarts.
Revelio.
Because Merlin knows everyone else has given up.
Why do you think you'll find a cure in the restricted section? Does the Hogwarts matron have nothing that can help Anne?
No! We've tried everyone from Nurse Blaney to St. Mungo's. But I can research on my own. No need to concern yourself with that right now. Let's focus on what you're after. Which is what, precisely?
I'll know it when I see it.
You're being awfully cryptic.
Don't look at me.
Secrets of the darkest arts. I'm impressed.
Who have we here? Sebastian Cello and his new little friend. Out exploring where they shouldn't be. Naughty, naughty. You'll get caughty.
Peeves, don't
I'm
you...
going to tell. I'm going to tell. I'm going to tell.
Oh, blasted Peeves! I've got to stop him, or at least get to the librarian with a good excuse for all of this.
How do I know you won't go to the librarian and blame this all on me?
Why would I do that? I like having friends who are in my debt. Now go. Good luck in your search.
Misunderstand.
Now, where's that damned poltergeist got to?
I know just the spell to repair this armor.
Reparo. Why can I set...
Reparo.
Of course, traces of ancient magic. That's it.
Revelio.
Okay.
Lumos.
Sienna Blue Scarf. Sienna.
Revelio. Accio.
Oh.
Not surprising. Guards at the ready.
Hey. Brilliant.
Incendio! Accio! Potato!
Stupid.
Levioso!
Stupefy.
Incendio! Revelio!
Ah.
Lumos. Revelio.
Oi! Hey, hey! No, no, no.
Revelio. Revelio. This must be the way forward, but to where? Revelio.
Oh.
Lumos.
Ah.
Nearly there. Best keep my wits about me.
Ah. No. What?
Accio. Levioso. Protego. Stupefy.
It is a book after all.
And see. How powerful.
You wanted to see me? Headmistress Fitzgerald? Professor Rackham?
Miss Isadora Morganach, welcome.
Professor Rookwood? Professor McCaw?
We understand that you are adjusting well to life at Hogwarts.
I am.
I am glad. Especially in light of your unusual situation, starting as a 5th year.
As it happens, I was also admitted to Hogwarts as a 5th year. I've never heard of another like us.
Miss Morganach, when we spoke yesterday after class, you asked about the beautiful swirls you saw years ago when we visited your hamlet.
I recognized you all immediately. I cannot thank you enough for what you did.
We were glad to help.
And yes, I did see swirls of magic everywhere that day. My father insists it was my imagination running wild, but it was certainly real to me.
It was not your imagination.
Percival, Professor Rackham can see them too. But we've never known of another who could.
I don't understand. What are they?
The whispers or traces that appear when a particular form of ancient magic is wielded.
Ancient magic?
Few are capable of wielding it. Hogwarts itself is a stronghold of ancient magic.
So if I can see traces of ancient magic, does that mean I can wield it too?
With the proper training.
But let us not get ahead of ourselves, Miss Morganach.
Before I can train you to wield such magic, you must first master all that Hogwarts has to offer.
A magic this powerful can do great harm in the wrong hands. It must be wielded by a select few. As such, we ask that you not speak to anyone about what we have discussed here today.
Sebastian.
Sneaking in the restricted section again! I had thought we were through with this mischief. Clearly detentions are insufficient. I'm afraid I must take this to the headmaster. But that being said, Peeves informs me that you didn't come alone tonight. If someone has coerced you, I would have you tell me. You're a bright boy. Don't waste this.
There was nobody else. I came alone.
Oh, Sebastian. What will your uncle say?
I should apologize and appreciate him. I'm free now.
Revelio. Levioso. Accio. Levioso. Lumos. Incendio.
Oh. No?
Is everything all right?
Oh, hello. Thank you for asking. I'm Cressida, by the way, and I'm afraid everything's not all right. I may be in a spot of trouble with the librarian. You see, I'm fond of creating my own charms. Thought I'd perfected my light as a feather charm to use on my library books. My arms get so tired carrying them around all day. But I must have confused the Latin word for feather with bird in my incantation, because when I opened my bag just now in the library, they literally took flight.
That sounds brilliant, actually.
Thank you. Somehow I don't think the librarian will see it that way. I collect the books and remove the charm myself, except this isn't the first time one of my charms has threatened the peace of the library. Our meet told Madame Scribner they were my books flying around, so she said that if I caused her any more trouble, she'd write to my parents. Perhaps you could get them for me. There are only 5. She won't be suspicious of a new student looking around.
Why did Army tell Madame Scribner that they were your books?
Oh, to be perfectly honest, I don't think he meant any harm. I think he was impressed, bragging on my behalf. Amit spends a lot of time gazing at the stars, but he knows a good charm when he sees one.
I suppose I could help, if I have the time.
Oh, I'd very much appreciate it.
I'm going to have to use Accio to get to those books.
Ah.
Accio! Got it. Only 4 more to go.
Reading can be as magical as any spell. Why can't students see that?
Accio!
Oh.
Revelio. That's the last book. Now to take them back to Cressida.
It was good that is until glass brushed whatever ridiculous concept concoction he was creating all over my perfectly stewed lace wing fries. Had to empty my entire cauldron and start all over again. He's such a menace. Think he knows everything there is to know about potions, always disrupting Professor Sharp's class with his experiments. I'm utterly convinced that if he wasn't Professor Weasley's nephew, he would have been expelled by now. Alvaro smokies again tonight for dinner. I'm becoming more partial to them now, although I still prefer meat pie. Okay. I can't understand. Hey.
Hello, Cressida. I collected your books, including your diary.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you.
Here you are.
Perhaps I should start brushing up on my Latin. Thank goodness some people are trustworthy.
I don't think it's anything special.
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones. There's the fountain. I'm getting closer.
The Daedalian keys are back. Aren't they brilliant?
Is everything all right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm Nellie, by the way. I'm just so excited that the Daedalian keys are back.
The what key?
The Daedalian keys. Surely you've seen them flying about. Rumour is that a former headmistress, Professor Mole, conjured them to protect the contents of certain locked cabinets years ago. Professor Black couldn't be bothered to disenchant the keys, and they appear every few years. You should try to catch one.
Why would I do that?
Each key will lead you to a locked cabinet somewhere in the castle. If you can manage to get the key into the cabinet lock, not an easy task, you may find a reward.
Why would Professor Mole conjure flying keys?
What I heard is that it had something to do with keeping Peeves out of things. But that may or may not be true. He's a poltergeist. I thought they could go almost anywhere.
Surely you will be trying to...
I've tried, and I can't even get past the first cabinets. Perhaps you'll have better luck. I'd love to know what's in the...
Perhaps I'll give it a go.
I hope you follow a few keys at least. If you manage to open a cabinet, I'd love to know what you find, if anything.
West. Cobblestone.
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
Okay, skip. dash out. Sorry, I a little bit AFK.
You cannot be serious. Goblins working with Rookwood makes no sense.
It is rather unorthodox, to say the least.
Unorthodox? It's inconceivable. It's... Ah, Fig. You have a visitor. I'll see what I can find out.
Sir, I was able to search the restricted section while you were with Professor Black. It was a book we were after.
What? That's... Wait. You accessed the restricted section? But how? Thinking on it, perhaps it's best you spare me the details.
Fair enough. In fact, the book was below the restricted section as it appeared on the map.
I want to hear everything. First, let's have a look. Oh dear. Some of these pages seem to be missing. It appears someone has got to the book before us. Still, I will need time to study what remains. Perhaps we can still salvage something useful, though it may take some time. I wonder why it was here, below Hogwarts.
I think I know, sir. I saw 2 more memories where I found the book.
Another pensive. Godric's heart.
The man we saw before, Percival Rackham, was a professor here. The first memory showed him and 3 other professors using ancient magic to restore a hamlet from a drought.
Miriam was right. And the second memory?
They were talking to a student who started as a 5th year, like I did. She could see traces of magic too.
Why those memories? Perhaps this book will explain. I'll have to take it with me to London. The headmaster has insisted that I speak directly to the minister about George's death.
What will you tell them about Mr. Osric's death?
I don't know how much I dare say. George tried to convince the ministry about Ranrock, but to no avail. My instinct is to follow the path we are on for the moment and keep the details to ourselves until we know more.
I understand. I'll see what I can learn about the missing pages while you're gone.
Good. Don't neglect your studies. Your wand work is improving by the day. But you'll want to pay attention in herbology and potions. There's more to magic than spellcasting.
Plenty to keep me occupied while you're gone.
You've done exceptionally well. I look forward to seeing all that you've accomplished when I return. Oh, and don't neglect your friends. You may be surprised by how much you can learn from them as well.
Handy resource indeed, your field guide.
As soon as possible. I would like to talk to you about Rookwood and Harley.
Revelio.
Best to do so outside of the castle.
It's time to prove your dueling mettle and see if we've a new school champion. Meet me at the usual place for the final round of crossed wands. Also, the training dummy is still available.
Professor Fig and Weasley have asked that I teach you an additional defensive spell. Please complete the assignments I have given you, and then proceed to see me in my classroom.
Lumos. Lumos.
I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
Revelio.
Levioso!
Revelio.
Oh, Nick. Finish Nick.
Revelio.
How nice to see you, my young friend.
My dear such a Betty. You'll be pleased to hear that I received word from my contacts at Cambridge, who conceded that they had in fact been incorrect in the understanding of meteor showers. It seems that an Irish astronomer and the British astronomer both built upon the work done by an Italian astronomer. All muggles, mind you, as far as I know, to purpose calculating the position of the dust at Earth's orbit as means of connecting meteors to comets. Brilliant, really. One can only imagine what they might do with an enchanted telescope. Frustratingly, in my correspondence, I feel that I had to continue using the pseudonym from my days as a gentleman scholar, whilst I still find it rather exciting to have a secret identity. The reason irks me. I'm so looking forward to our trip later this year to Jantarmentor. What an adventure we shall have. I miss you, dear sister, and do hope you are well. With love. Skirita.
Revelio. A Daedalian key. I wonder where it might lead me.
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented loop houses.
There's the cabinet. How do I get this key in there? Brilliant. An old coin. Perhaps Nellie knows what it means.
Off on another adventure, are we?
Revelio. Revelio. Revelio.
I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
Revelio.
Spare a moment? I could use your help.
You wanted to speak with me?
I did. Hello, I'm Duncan Hobhouse. Pleasure to meet you. I've heard all about you, of course, confronting troll...
That's nice to hear. I have had my share of adventure. I hope my reputation's warranted.
I'm going to presume your reputation is in fact warranted, in which case, you are precisely the person I need. You see, we were learning to repel boggarts in Professor Hecat's class, and, well, mine unfortunately took the shape of a puffskein.
Ugh, well, they seem innocent, but their tongues can be most disturbing.
Exactly. I wish more of our fellow students agreed with you. Regardless of how reasonable I believe my fear of puffskeins to be, I'm beginning to get a reputation as a coward. Some have even taken to calling me Puffskein Dunkeen.
I'm sorry to hear that. Words can be cruel.
Thank you. Poppy keeps offering to help me in overcoming my fear, but I'm too afraid to take her up on it. Anyway, to make matters worse, I stupidly blurted out that I must be braver than people think, since I have been in the hidden herbology corridor.
The hidden herbology corridor?
Yes. Rumour has it that the herbology professor before Professor Garlic kept dangerous plants there. It's supposedly so overrun now that no one dares enter it anymore. I was hoping you could go there and bring back evidence that I could use to show that, well, I'd gone in. Say a bit of an exceptionally dangerous plant of some kind.
What sort of plants should I expect in the hidden herbology corridor?
I haven't a clue. But have you seen the kinds of plants Professor Garlic grows? If the previous professor was anything like her, I'd imagine they're not exactly harmless.
Very well. If I'm in the area, perhaps I shall take a look.
Grand. I'd very much appreciate it. Come and find me if you get the proof. I shall be forever in your debt.
Hidden herbology corridor. Sounds intriguing.
Okay, so today's my adventure is completed.